Is it time to reveal your real magic and become seen, known, and valued? Hello, and welcome to this week's Visionary Voices Deep Dive Live. I hope you're having a great week. And today we are going to be talking about what are you avoiding? So this is a deep topic. I'm really excited to explore this with you. And so if you're new here, if we haven't met before, hi, I'm Rionach, deep dive visibility mentor, really helping soulful business owners and creatives to melt those frozen parts and open up to magnetic visibility. It's an energetic process so that you can share your wisdom that you came here to share. So I want to talk about this topic, and if you're here watching, just type in hello or replay if you're watching the replay, and I will be checking and responding to the comments as we go. Let me just check that I can see you live here in the Visibility for Visionary Leaders Facebook group. And if you're not watching us in that group, there should be a link where you can join us there. So I want to talk about this topic. What are you avoiding? Because I was, coaching a client recently, and she had such a huge breakthrough when we got to this moment of what she'd been avoiding. And not just, breakthrough, but it was just such a relief. This is the thing that I haven't wanted to feel or turn towards or connect with, that feeling, that experience. And so all of my life has been actually unbeknownst to me, giving so much energy to avoiding that. So it's just like, it's been controlling my whole life. And it was such a relief. Such a relief. She was in tears of relief to see this. And that helped me to kind of see, this is where this has been operating in my life, when I look back and what comes up now. So just love to check in, do you ever notice and really get present to just how much energy you put into avoiding something? Because this is liberating stuff. I'm really excited to share this with you. And, now I can look back on my life and see just how much energy I put into avoiding being visible. That was my story for decades. And without even knowing that I was doing it. And so, designed my career so I could avoid feeling exposed, that feeling of, I wish the ground would open up and swallow me, extreme self-consciousness when I stood in front of a group. There are reasons for that. It makes a lot of sense, when we can connect with this as well. And then, investing so much energy in trying to be perfect and doing endless training so I could avoid criticism. It's another version of that as well, or judgment, including my own harsh critic. It's not good enough, keep working. So, and in my business, this also looked like not putting my prices up, not asking others to invest in my offerings or launching. It took me a long time to really feel ready to launch group programs so I could avoid rejection or feeling like a failure. And, so tell me, what does this look like for you? Because I remembered being terrified before my first proper sales call, when I launched my business full time as a coach, because I really wanted to avoid feeling rejected at all costs. And I was really freaking out before that call. My tech was going weird and all kinds of things happening because energetically I was just going, no, rejection, no, let me avoid that at all costs. And it you can't see it. We don't know what it is. We just know that there's something there. And that I had to go deep into that. I'll share a bit more about that. So I got this metaphor. It's like what we're avoiding, because it's a blind spot, because it's hidden from our view, it's like, astronomers looking for a black hole. They can't see the black hole. There's no light there. But they can see the impact it has. They can see gravity patterns. They can see weird things happening around it that tell them that it's there. And you can't see it, but the patterns that it leaves are visible. So for me, with that sales call that I was really freaking out about, I muddled through it. It wasn't good, but I muddled through it. But then I needed to reach out for support to somebody to help me shift it, because I couldn't see what was going on. And it can be painful to really turn towards what we've given so much energy to avoid. There's a reason that the no is strong, and it often requires, a safe held space and a skilled, listener or coach or, person who can hold that, somebody who knows the territory and can guide you through. And when I, went into that, it brought me all the way back to coming into this world. And I didn't arrive at a time that was good for my mother or for my family. I was, conceived 2 months after my brother was born, and he was, the second child already, and so I had to really go right back and hold that little one who didn't feel wanted. Deep core stuff. So it makes a lot of sense that I would be avoiding that. So there's no judgment here for avoiding this, but it's just really good to get present to it, because these sneaky blind spots, they rule our lives, and they're what lies at the heart of true transformation. So what can you relate to here? Post in the comments. What does this look like for you? And these patterns that are, swirling around the thing that we're avoiding, they might be revealed by, some kind of challenging life experience that's hard to make sense of, or a powerful commitment to finally shift those patterns. For me, it was like, I really want to do sales calls, even though, I also didn't, but I wanted to have a business. So I got committed to turning towards that and shifting that pattern finally. And it's such a relief to see it, to know what that is, to kind of go, okay, that's deep and that hurts, but I can hold it, or I can get somebody to help me to hold it, and to finally get off, that merry-go-round. So the reason, I'm sharing this with you today, obviously this is not a coaching session, but it's when you know where to look, when you can start to see those patterns, even if you can't see exactly what's hidden from your view, you can get a sense for that. Lyra saying, yeah, I can relate to it all. Continually taking trainings to avoid stepping up in visibility. I hear you, Lyra. You're in the right group. You're in the right space and community here. So yes, exactly. We can work very hard and spend a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of money in avoiding the thing that's actually in the way, because we don't see it. And, and I really want to emphasize that there's nothing actually wrong with you. And just because there's something that you couldn't see that's been blocking you from taking you to the next step. So there's nothing wrong. And actually it's a relief when you get to it. It's like, oh, that's why it's taken me so long to get here. And there's nothing wrong. It actually makes sense. It's not shameful. So what I want to do is just help you to cultivate that capacity to choose to get present to these hidden commitments, these black hole energies, and see just how much energy they're sucking up. So then you're going to be empowered. It's my intention for you that you'll be empowered to make a new choice, to make that powerful commitment to leaning into the thing that's actually going to make the difference, that transform that. So you can shift it, because that's what I'm here for, to support you to shift this stuff. And then what becomes possible is, on the other side of holding space for that, is that a whole new energy opens up, that you have so much more choice. You've got new energy that you can create from, rather than perpetuating the old patterns. And you're able to get clear on and hold space for what you've been avoiding. So you can have a whole new way of showing up. So just share with me in the comments, what have you been, what comes up for you around this? What's your experience? Because what I want to explore with you today is to explore the patterns that point towards where you've been avoiding. So you know where to look, the patterns, and gently get present to the costs and the sneaky side benefits, where we avoid this stuff for the reason because we get a benefit from avoiding it, of staying where you are, and then just gently leaning into your commitment to make a shift, where you can face your avoidance rather than circling it. So let's dive in. I want you to give an experience of this, but this is tender stuff. So I want to start with a poem to activate all the love and compassion that we need as we turn towards this part. This is a poem called Love After Love by Derek Walcott. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself, arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelves, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. I love that, those image of the desperate notes, this stranger who has loved you all your life. Often what we've been avoiding is just the thing that wants love from us. And we've neglected it. We haven't known how to hold it. We weren't taught how to hold it. So this is the energy that we're bringing in to this exploration. So I just invite you to take a moment to reflect on what are the habits of hiding, of playing small, of holding back, of just not following through on your inner nudges that keep coming up for you. And what I don't want you to do here is just look at all the places that you're not showing up perfectly. It's not kind to have a shopping list of all the things we think are wrong with us. Just so really trust, what are your nudges? What is your guidance telling you that you haven't been following up on you? It might be telling you what to create next. It might be revealing a particular pattern that's coming up for you. So it might be an urge to create something, and it might be life experiences that keep happening to you as well. So for my clients, for example, so just really, feel what are your patterns. For my client, she wanted to launch a new service, and it was a deeper transformation program to her current audience. And she was getting lots of ideas for blog posts and not posting them. She wasn't putting it out there that she was offering this new service. It felt vulnerable, and there was something deep, quite deep, that was really getting in the way. So what are the persistent patterns that you can't seem to get to the bottom of, no matter what you do, that keep coming up again and again? So just post that in the comments and share that with me. So, for example, for me, I had I had COVID earlier this year. So this is a life experience that happened to me, and it really knocked my energy, and it kept going on for a week and then another week. And then, even week 3, the symptoms were gone, but my energy was not back. And I just wanted to sit on the sofa and read a book and nap and not do anything. And I had this really harsh voice of judgment coming up that was telling me that I'm lazy, that I'm in resistance, that I'm hiding, quite a heavy energy and shame. So it took this, life kind of taking me out and incapacitating me to really reveal this energy that I'd been avoiding, these feelings, by keeping busy, by doing it all myself, that, proving that I was good enough. And, and I wanted to push past it and ignore it, in normal weeks by doing it. But, I didn't have the energy to get busy. So I turned towards it. I was able to feel it, accept it, love it, hear, my mother's voice, and also saying, that's not true, or if I am, lazy, if I am in resistance, if I am hiding, it's okay. I'm going to love that part of myself and give it a little bit of airtime. It needs it. It needs it. And it really shifted something deep in me, because as my energy came back, I could feel, what I had energy for and what I didn't. And it, became clear that I didn't have to do everything myself, and I could really let in support. And I was able to finally get an assistant and delegate lots of tasks, which I'd been resisting. And I've been avoiding this feeling of, the vulnerability of receiving support, and this, sneaky feeling that I'm lazy if I don't do it all myself. And so it was letting go of control, turning towards that vulnerability. And it was a real visibility breakthrough for me, because I could put my energy into creating new things, a new YouTube channel, a new challenge, new programs. So it's beautiful. So what is it? Who relates to this? What is it that you are doing or not doing, even though you want to? And it's really good to get focused here with this. So no judgment, just notice, just get curious. It can take a lot to reveal this. So what I want to help you to reflect on now is, it really helps to get present to what it's costing you, and how it's serving you, both, to stay in this pattern. What is it? What is the cost of it? It's easier to connect with. And then what is it? What are the benefits? Because we always get what we are committed to. But what happens, when we're in avoidance mode, we're actually more committed to avoiding that thing, to avoiding that black hole energy. We're more committed to avoiding that than we are to, shifting the pattern that it creates and getting the results that it would bring us if we did. But we don't know this. This is going on at a deep unconscious level, and that unconscious part is in charge. But when this is where the transformation lies. So just take a moment to reflect. You might want to write this down. So reflect on these persistent patterns that really feels relevant for you, these nudges that you're getting that you're not following through on, and that you can't seem to get to the bottom of, that you try, you sign up for different programs and trainings, but you're not getting the results. So, what is that for you? It might be that you keep putting it off, procrastinating, you sit down to do it and you hit a wall, or that you just get distracted with social media or endless trainings or binge watching, or it might be that you're overcommitted and giving too much time to other projects or trainings. So just get connected to, and you might want to write this down, what is the cost of this pattern? What is that costing you in your life, in your purpose, in your business? So for me, for my story, the cost of not having support was overworking, was doing tasks that didn't light me up. It was no time to focus on growing the next level of my visibility, because I was, completely full, doing all the things that were on the plate, no time to create the next level offers. For my client who wasn't, putting her blog posts out there, it was not growing her business. The costs of not growing her business. And she'd invested so much, time and energy and money in her transformation coaching skills, and really had a vision of using them in the context that she was already working in. So she had this dream of making a bigger difference, of inspiring people, bringing transformation to her sector. It was limiting her income. So what is it, where is it costing you in terms of money? Where is it costing you in terms of purpose? It was costing her in terms of sense of frustration, of not sharing her vision, and creating self-doubt and holding back on, the actual doing that she knew she needed to do. Very clear, create and offer the transformational coaching and to, the people she was already working with in another way. So just what are the costs of staying where you are in your life, in your relationships, your money, your creative expression, your purpose? So just share that in the comments, and just, really connect with that. And now, so just breathe and just be really gentle and tender with yourself here. Because now we're kind of coming to the heart of this training today, as well as the costs. And if you're writing it down, you might want to put costs on one side of the paper and benefits on the other. What are the benefits? What are you getting out of staying in these patterns? So for me, the benefits, of not getting support was I got to avoid being vulnerable. I got to stay in control. I got to stay safe. I got to stay small. But this, avoiding being vulnerable and receiving support was actually at the heart of it. So for my client, she got to avoid being rejected. And actually, when we got to the core of what was going on, she got to avoid disappointment. She got to avoid disappointing others and being disappointed herself. So for her, it was that disappointment energy that was the black hole energy. So I invite you to reflect, what are the benefits for you? And it might be for you, it might be avoiding failure. And just see what resonates here. It might be avoiding rejection. It might be avoiding judgment. It might be that avoiding, being abandoned, avoiding looking bad, avoiding being wrong. And so you get to be right. It might be avoiding responsibility. It's like, oof, if I do that, what else will come along? If I'm really successful, will that be too much? Maybe it will come with responsibility, and there's stories around that. So what is it for you, and so see what you connect with here. And I invite you to continue this process, to do some really deep dive self-coaching around this, to dive into what is it that you've been avoiding. So avoiding vulnerability is staying safe. Avoiding being abandoned is you get to belong. The benefits are that. So what are you present to now? So Lyra saying avoiding anxiety. Oh, I can feel that. I can feel the energy of that, Lyra. Yeah, avoiding anxiety. And it's like, oh, because when you get to the heart of that, and you might feel like you've landed on that now, or it can take a while. It can take some digging to really get down to the thing that has that's at the heart of it, that's at the energy. But you know where to look now. Because what we get to do, when we really see it, is turn towards that and hold space for that, and maybe with support for that as well, to hold that tenderness. Because what we avoid keeps us small, it keeps us safe, and what we commit to challenges us to take up more space, feels more risky. And sometimes what you're avoiding is something that has been going on in your family for generations. It can go that deep. So you're continuing a good family tradition of avoiding rejection, avoiding disappointment, avoiding anxiety. And that there's been a whole generations old story of we don't go there. we don't go there. So to be able to really hold space for that is big, it's powerful. So I just invite you to gently lean into your commitment, to finally make a shift and get off this old merry-go-round of circling your avoidance rather than facing it. So I just invite you to reflect and to post in the comments, what are you present to? What are you present to now? How do you feel about giving up these benefits? About how willing are you to explore turning towards what you've been avoiding? So just take a moment to breathe and just get present to that. There's no right or wrong here. There's no right or wrong, and it might take a while to dive in. How do you feel now about walking through that fire? Maybe even being the first person in your family to walk through that fire. This is how deep it can go. And what will be possible for you if you could get to the other side of that? And just check in with the commitment levels, of doing what it takes, and what support do you need to help you take your next step? What support could you give yourself to take your next step? So we've gone really deep here. I just want you to breathe and to hold yourself in this. This is deep and tender stuff. I'd love to know what you're taking away from this. Share your insights, your ahas, your questions, your takeaways in the comments. And if you love this and you're struggling with this, I do invite you to listen again, to do some self-coaching with this. And if you'd love some support, reach out to me, because we could hop on a call and get clear on what you need. I'd love to have a chat with you. And I have a new offer of a visibility superpowers session. It's not on my website yet. It should be in the next week. But if you're interested in coaching with me and you'd like it to explore if that's for you or not, we can set that up. So whether you get support from me, from yourself, from whoever else you can get support from at the moment, you know, I am just so honored that you're interested in this conversation, that you have the courage to turn towards and face this and do this deep work. I want to honor you for that. Because this is not work for the faint-hearted. This is deep stuff. This is pioneering stuff. That's why you are a visionary leader. So it's been my honor and privilege to connect with you today. Have a great week, and let me know, what other topics would you love to hear from me in these weekly training videos. So take care, and wishing you a lot of tenderness and a lot of love. Bye for now.